Well, as European leaders return from their summer holidays, it's back to work on the economic crisis gripping the continent, in particular Greece. Yesterday, the Greek PM Antonis Samaras was pitching his bid for more time to meet his country's tough bailout conditions. Today, the French President François Hollande flew to Berlin for talks with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. And in brief statements before their meeting, both leaders stressed it was up to Greece to keep pursuing painful reforms as it strives to keep its place in the euro. Neither, though, made any comment on the country's plea for more time. Let's go to our central London studios and speak to Martin Koehring of the Economist Intelligence Unit. It doesn't appear as if either leader is going to cut Mr. Samaras any slack, but as far as Greece is concerned, renegotiation is pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, the Greek economy contracted by around 17% since the second quarter of 2008, and it's entering its fifth year of a very deep recession or even economic depression, and unemployment is above 23%. Youth unemployment above 50% in Greece at the moment. So from a Greek perspective, it's clear that they need something. They need to return to the electorate and tell them that they have achieved some kind of extension of fiscal targets. It will be possibly, even if they achieve it, only a drop in the ocean. But the government, the new Greek government, promised to renegotiate the bailout terms. So it has to come back from these meetings with something. And if they don't, then there is a risk that the government, the new government that's only been in place for 2 months, might even collapse soon.
Yeah, but surely the problem is that politically and financially, Germany and the Eurozone can't afford to do this, can they? I mean, the Eurozone's facing its second recession in, 3 years now?
Yes, exactly. I mean, what we have seen this morning, actually, the Purchasing Managers Index figures have just been released, showing that the Eurozone economy, the private sector, the services sector and the manufacturing sector has been in decline for 7 consecutive months. And in Germany, the manufacturing sector is looking really weak at the moment, and it's the driving force of the economy usually. And that shows that even Germany, that has been the engine of the Eurozone economy, is now starting to contract. The economy is weakening clearly, and consumers are suffering, and households are very wary of the future, especially because of the Eurozone crisis. And next year there will be a general election in Germany, so the German leader, Angela Merkel, will be reluctant to give major concessions to Greece because she's facing a lot of pressure from Eurosceptic forces within her own party and from the electorate, especially because the German economy is slowing. So there's unlikely to be any kind of major concession to Greece.
Mr. Samaras is calling for breathing space. He wants this extra 2 years. How much would that cost?
Well, the Greek government itself actually estimates that that would cost about 20 billion euros, and that comes on top of 240 billion euros that has already been pledged to Greece in 2 bailout agreements. So it's basically increasing the risk and the liability for taxpayers in countries such as Germany, Finland, and the Netherlands that are more, in favor of fiscal austerity and prudence. So it's very unlikely that the German government will agree on an extension by 2 years. I mean, 20 billion, that's what the Greek government thinks, is potentially even much higher. And there's really bailout fatigue in the Eurozone. So it's very unlikely that Greece will get what it wants.
Well, bailout fatigue, but I mean, looking at all the figures, it seems that Greece could even go for a third bailout, couldn't it? Or might need to go for a third bailout in a couple of years' time.
Yes, exactly. I mean, these 20 billion would have to come from somewhere. I mean, Greece doesn't really have funding sources itself. It's even struggling to pay pensions and salaries for its civil servants. So these 20 billion would have to come from the Eurozone partners. And in this climate, Germany has a general election next year. There's unlikely to be any additional money forthcoming. And Greece is off target on more than 200 of the targets that it agreed in the latest bailout. So there's very little willingness to concede anything to Greece.
Okay, Martin Koehring, a European economist from the Economist Intelligence Unit. Thank you very much. Let's have a look.